Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's just another fun-filled day, except for this time it's the birthday of America. Yesterday was the birthday. Some say up in Princeton, they say it's the second. Could be the second more than it could be the fourth, but in the end result is that the second Congress in Philadelphia made it the fourth. Because they finally agreed to whatever it was they're agreeing to. For the Constitution itself. So took a couple days for them to get that figured out. But anyway, it's we're kind of going sideways here. Now the thing that caught my eye automatically was the way they ended it on Friday. You can see here. I'm just going to go right to the cable. You can see the cable started to perk up on Friday, and you can see here the white line got very close on the intraday, or not intraday. I'm sorry, the daily. But what obviously is very clear for those who watched the webinar, they know that we watch both the weekly and the daily, and we're not seeing even a white line move to the negative side of the or piercing the negative side of the nonlinear manifold right here, the yellowish goldish line there. So this is probably a dead cat bounce. We'll see. Maybe more than likely that whoever pushes the button at the Federal Reserve was off at the beach at that point and decided not to be, they decided not to have anybody take care of that particular thing, that particular process. We've seen that happen before from the Bank of Tokyo, or the Bank of Japan, where someone goes on vacation, and I mean literally someone goes on vacation and someone doesn't replace them, and then their interest rates shift and currency shift, and then someone actually is fired because they didn't. And yeah, that's how we know the stories, is because we actually see them showing that someone didn't take over a certain department when someone else left, and it comes out over a few months. We've seen that happen 2 or 3 times now from the Bank of Japan over the last, I guess, during the QE era, and that's where we are now. We're in the QE era, so that's what happens. Someone forgets to, replace somebody because it's a holiday or something of that nature, and the next thing you know is that they're not paying attention. Hey, Alan, how you doing? Borat, how you doing? So we're like, we're just kind of dealing with the ends of the holiday, which is a 3-day holiday here in the States, and what they've done is they've, Monday the markets are physically, if you can call it physical now, the exchange floors are closed, but the electronic market is going to trade for another 2 hours. Was it 2? It's noon Chicago time, which is 1 o'clock Eastern time, which is, what is that, 3 hours and 27 minutes. The electronic market's going to keep on rolling along here. Let's see. Alan says, hello to everybody. Did that. Alan says, Treasury Secretary Larry Summers pretty much said S&P 4,900 in the max before the crash. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. One thing is for sure, he is not on board with all this, which is a little curious. But then he's been, ever since he was head of Harvard's business school, about 7-8 years ago, and he got on the wrong side of things. That does not surprise me that he's not toting the line of the Democrats in power right now. That's not a surprise. And QE, we've had these discussions here specifically here at Dukascopy on the webinars. It's very clear that price discovery, you hear Janos and the rest of them, their head analysts, price discovery is just not what it used to be. It just isn't there. And so, again, that fit, like I was talking to somebody about the Bitcoins and the cryptocurrencies yesterday at a cookout 4th of July thing. And it's like, price discovery is gone. So how can cryptos be a pyramid? Can't be a pyramid if there's no price discovery. Bless you. So, good night. And so, and the end result is that no price discovery, no pyramids. I mean, that's pretty much what it comes down to. So that wouldn't surprise me. Oh, it took him 20 minutes to scan. Yeah, I can imagine. I have to try to tune that in. That could be entertaining. I know that he's getting traction. Traction like tires touching the ground, traction uh, throughout some of the conservative side of finance, because they're impressed that he's actually talking truth. Now, 4,900, anything's possible. I mean, when you don't have price discovery, what would that be? That'd be about, is that what, about another 4% higher, maybe? Where are we at now? Let's go back. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the S&P. Right now, we have, it's trading at 40, what was that? 4,343. So, it's 343. So that's 550 points. That's what is that? That's about an 8% move, which would make sense. Boy, that would make a very clear bubble. That's for sure. Can you imagine the trapped shorts out of that? In other words, that what'll drive it to that 4,900 is trapped shorts. The only way you get rallies like that is where the market participants are on one side of the market and they slowly capitulate. In other words, they give up on being short, and so they just slowly cover and forces the markets up higher and higher and higher. And then what happens is that there's nobody left on the short side. And remember that in quantitative easing era, QE era, the book or the specialist or the buyer of last resort or seller of last resort is the U.S. Federal Reserve and central banks. So they are deep. They have very, very deep pockets. They can do about almost anything they want until the politicians reel them in, and they're not interested in reeling them in now for the next, say 12, 13 months. They're happy with this insanity. So, does that make any sense to what you saw with Summers? But I'm hearing from responsible people in the financial markets that they're happy that Summers has joined that side, and basically is ridiculing the fast and free money by the Federal Reserve and the U.S. government. They're, it's gotten kind of ridiculous. I mean, the idea that Mr. Biden is even suggesting $6 trillion more in spending is insanity. And I don't think you can define it any more than that. Let me do this too. Let me put the fact check spreadsheet up. I haven't done any work, and we can do that while we're doing the webinar, which will make life easier for me and all of you at the same time. And there it is right there. So let me change the date on that too. What's that? That would be the 4th. Today's the 5th. What did I do there? Let's try this. There we are. So today's the 5th. We're going to label this the 6th for tomorrow. So things are going to come in. I guess we could. I hate to label it the 5th when I know that I don't trust these numbers. See, that's the problem is with these holidays, I can't trust the numbers. Yes, he said no bears means big future problems. Well done, Doc. You were spot on. Yeah, Summers is, like I said, Summers has switched his direction, I want to call it. I think it's the best way to describe it. He has switched his direction over the last X amount of years. When he got in trouble at Harvard for, I forget how he said, he was talking about women involved in investing or something. I don't know. It was something to do with women. Or no, I think it was academia. That's what it was. It was women in academia. And he said something and they went after him. Ever since then, he has been drifting further and further away from the socialist point of view. And matter of fact, what they did, they removed him from the head of the economics department at Harvard. I'm sure he wasn't happy about that. I'm sure he wanted to be retired for the next 20 years there. In other words, just have the office, have the prestige, pontificate about this or that, say whatever he wanted to say, and then at the end of the, statement, it would say, Larry Summers, head of economics at Harvard University. And the fact that they removed him has basically not made him very happy. And he seems to be drifting from the left's socialism. And he's been really tough. I guess he was in the Obama administration, and then he got removed. And he started to get a little tougher after that. He started saying, this is, you can't do that. I think he might have gone after Obamacare in the later years, saying that it was, not fundable correctly and it won't work or something like that. And he's loved and hated by the left in the United States at this point. They love him and they hate him. And just the fact that he's been removed as head of the economics department at Harvard probably has made him enormously angry. They're not used to that. The left doesn't like the idea that they get removed from anything. So, yeah, that's a perfect one. Bloomberg is a fantasy land too. So, that's that seems to be the way. They go into the media side. It's still part of the Democrat Party. They need to keep them in the fold on some level. They need to try to keep them, that way. All right, so what am I going to do? Okay, so let's go down to, so it's a second week in a weekly buy, and it's 11 days now, and a daily buy when it comes to the S&P 500, or what Summers was talking about there. Now let's take a look at, don't start me on Bloomberg. They don't seem to get a story right on any given day. If there's a story about a man being bit by a dog, you're not exactly sure who bit who. Let's see, there's the NASDAQ 100. You can see they're starting to try to top out a little bit here too. But that, like I said, it could have more to do with the fact that it's a holiday. And whoever's in charge of, pushing the dollars out to buy more may have just be on the beach right now as we speak. Yeah, I can imagine now Pal calling up and saying, "Where are you?" "Oh, I'm down on the beach right now." "Well, aren't you supposed to be buying S&Ps today?" "Oh, I thought it was a holiday." It is a holiday, but that doesn't stop you from working remote. That's probably the way it's going, something like that. Like I said, we've seen this happen with the Bank of Japan a couple times, where they actually published that they fired somebody for not being there. And then you put the two and two together and you see the department, what it was, and it's part of stimulus. It's part of the stimulus department of the Bank of Japan. Whereas here in the States, they're not going to, you'll never know that they fired anybody. They'll just hide the secret. It's just the way it is around here. Okay, so Bitcoin was in a sell. So we'll do that. Let's see where Bitcoin is today. I remember looking at it, double checking, and thinking that I was going to actually do the work. Yeah, see, it's been a sell for a couple days here. Now it looks like they gapped up Bitcoin. What's that right there? They gapped it up this morning, but it didn't seem to hold. And now we're back to the even number. And the weekly, it's been in a sell since back here, and it's not filling in yet. I'm not sure what's going on. I have to see if I can straighten out the calculation. I did fill in on Friday. I saw that. Where's that? Is it there? Oh, July. That's what it is. July is there. That's August. So you can see here it's I'm not sure what this is all about, because we have Bitcoin. Oh, it's a super. We'll have to double check that. But you can see it's been in a weekly sell here for 2, 3, 4, 5, going on 6 weeks. So, and that's the again. There cannot be a pyramid scheme for the cryptos if you don't have normal price discovery in the regular asset class. It's bonds and stocks. If you don't have a clean price discovery system there, then there's no way there's a pyramid system to begin with. And so it's like a relative thing. You need one with the other. Let's see. I heard of central bankers buying gold again. Japan, China, Russia. Yeah, I think they're always buying. I think that's what the name of the game really is. Hey, Middle Age, how you doing? Has the gold and silver weekly quants moved up? Let's check them out. Let's see, I filled in those. So let's fill in the spreadsheet on gold and silver. Robin was saying that he picked up some strength coming in a couple days ago. And so there it is there. You can see it wasn't 2 weeks in a sell. Let's take a look at gold today. So gold is still holding up. What are we? We're 2 days in a buy, on a daily buy there. You can see, but look at the weekly. The weekly seems to be coming down towards the time manifold and getting even more extreme. So that's a little surprising there in the sense of starting the week off. It's doing that. Now you can see here we're getting a volatility signal. Let's do a control R on this just to see if we can see it tighten it up a little bit like that. There. Okay, now it's just red. But you can see here the time, the histogram, and the green line is well below the negative time manifold. So whatever's buying is going on. It's again, it goes with that little meow thing I sound. Dead cat bounce. Now that's that. So let's put that in there. So the weekly now is a 3-week sell, and the daily is a 3-day buy. Again, it could be literally nothing more than the fact that whoever's in charge at the Fed to push the button to buy or sell is not there right now. So the Fed usually sells this stuff. So who's ever missing and is on the beach somewhere, Powell is calling him this morning and reminding him that he's supposed to push the button. Push the button. There we go. Now here's silver doing the same thing. You can see this. Now look at that. That's interesting. Let's refresh that. That closed in a sell on Friday. I remember that. I was like, what? I was like, what's going on there? Let's see. That's not the place to go. Where we go? Let's go down to silver right there. So we're 6 weeks in a sell there. So we can make that 7 now. 7. And then you can see here, we were 2 days. I know that Friday coming in, it was in a buy, but on Monday, Friday's close, it closed in a sell. Let's just double check that. But we had the red, and we had the green line minus 0.0083 of an ounce. Talk about minute calculations. And here you can see that the histogram is maybe a little bit higher actually today. But the green line is so well underneath. But then look how tight the manifold is at this point. That's usually indicative. The weekly manifold, when it gets, or even the daily, you see how when they get tight, you get a move out of it. And so this thing broke down a couple days later from it. And here we are in the same situation on the weekly. Robin was saying to me on Thursday or Friday, I think it was Thursday, that his work was trying to show us that there was some buying going on the short term, on a day-to-day. And you can see it's lifted here. But Friday, as much as it was up, we still got that red dot, which was kind of odd. Did I do a control R? Let me do a control R there. Okay, there you go. That makes more sense. And so there is, what is that? That's Friday. Okay, so we have to change the parameters to get today's data. Let's go see if we can find how to get today's data. Whereas gold is reflecting it, it's not reflecting it here. Let's go to the 24 and we'll see what's going on. And we'll do the same thing with the weekly. See if we can get that straightened out also. There we are. And it's still not doing it. Now why is gold updating and silver is not? Let me just take a look at the parameters. It's the same exchange. These exchanges today they can drive you totally crazy. Okay, I'm going to use that then. Let me just see what that is again, double check it. Okay, so it's CME Futures Globex. Let's try that. That might straighten it out. Alright, so close, back to silver, format instrument, CME Globex. There we are. Let's see if that does it. CME Globex. Okay, let's see if that straightens it out. Oh, it pushed it over, but it didn't give us a new. Let's try a refresh on that too. No, it's not giving it to us. Let me see if I can find a quote. I'm going to see where it's at this morning. So silver is SI. Enter. Let's see. And what are we looking at there? Oh, wait a minute. That's July. When does that thing expire? I guess it's coming up soon, right? All right. So I've got silver trading at 26.58 at a 59.5 offer. They're saying the last trade is 67. So no one's trading this product at the moment. That's interesting. Oh, there you go. Wait a minute. Now it's 58. Yeah, it's 58 at 59, but last transaction is 67. And so it's up higher. So on Friday it closes in a sell, and then it pops back up again. So it's squeezing us a little bit there. That's no winner. It is not, I repeat, it is not a winner chicken dinner. It is not. Because it's pushing you into a sell on Friday, and it's up much stronger. How much is gold up today then? Let's see what gold is up today. GC. I probably have to close the charting service and then reopen it again to get it straightened out. But I can give you verbals. Let's see, futures. August. Alright, so gold is up $9.10. That's a 30 bid at 50 at the moment. So let's just quick look on Dukascopy with the Swiss. Okay, so Swiss is moving down. All right, so that means the dollar's moving down. So if the dollar's moving down, gold is moving up. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Let's see. Okay, there it is. No, September is the front month now. Okay, let's shift over to September. See if we can straighten it out that way. Yeah, that back month is obviously not doing its thing. So it would be what? Add and SEP. Futures and SI. Wrong thing there. Escape. SI. Look up. And SEP silver. U. There it is. That's the 1,000. I think we follow the 5,000. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. Oh, we got it. This should do it. And close. And then, there we go. There we go. Let's see if it updates there now. Okay, I'm getting ready to push the button. And maybe we'll give it a refresh and that might straighten it out. Yep, there it is. Straightened out. Good job, middle-aged. Thank you. We're going to put that in there, and now on we're going to just follow the SEP. So that is SEP T SEP SI silver. Let's see. Let's get that S in there. There we are. There we go. And let's make it like white and bigger or something like that, or there we are. So yeah, we slid into the sell on Friday and it's moving up. and the time manifold's moving down. I don't know, look at it, it's at an extreme too. It's starting to get to an extreme. Let's widen out the daily. The daily is getting, no, not that. Right there. There you go. Oh, look at that. I mean, when this thing starts to turn up again on the daily, and it would be nice to see the weekly join in. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of confidence that it's got anything, more than that. Let's see. Hey Moses, how you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you. All right, so let's fix that on the fact check spreadsheet too at the same time. Silver. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I guess I did. Did I fill that in? I guess I did. Let's just double check here. Okay, so that's the second. Let's see if we can straighten out the weekly. Settings. There we are. Let's see what that does. There you go. Oh, look at that. It's turning up. That's kind of interesting. In the September contract, it's turning up today. So it's going to be 8 weeks in a cell. Let's put that in there. So that's 8 right there. And then it's going to be 2 days in a cell. And like I said, it's not a winner chicken dinner. It definitely is not. So I don't know if they're going to roll it back over. Pal might be sending somebody out to the beach to get the guy that pushes the button. Anything's possible. All right. Better just go down there himself and push the button. Yeah, he's probably at the beach too. Let's see. Now, let's see. So we did that. Let's do this. Let's do copper. And also, you know what? Let's do the commodities. Middle age, I didn't fill in the corn, wheat, and soybeans, but I think 2 out of 3 of them closed in weekly buys. Let's see. Doc, I tested the strategy. Oh, good. With the following logic: entry high, time frame, fast stoke against slow stoke. Good. And Hinky Ashy in green. Fast stoke crosses slow stoke upside down. And exit lower time frame for stoke crosses slow. How'd it come out? I bet it came out pretty decent. It's probably the best public indicator you can put together. That's why we put it up on the Dukascopy J4X. It's probably the best because what it does is it turns the stochastic into a leading indicator. It turns the when you're competing, the two stochastics are competing against each other. It becomes a really solid leading indicator there. It's the only time frame where I got some positive results over the last 1 year on various currency parts is higher equals weekly and lower daily short time frame. Daily and 4 hour didn't work. Okay, go to 30 minute. I think that you have to. We've done that here. We go with the 30 minute, not the 4 hour. Because the Hinky Ashy is a delayed process. And I'd be cautious. I'd follow, in this case here, the Hinky Ashy is okay, but, the real meat or the real success story is the speed of the slow and the fast stochastic. Yeah, it is. The Hinky Ashy is a average. So what they do is they take the open, the high, the low, the close. They multiply it by 2, and then they divide it by 2 or something like that. And they come up with a number. But they're taking all 4 points of the bar and adding them all together. So you take that number, it's an average. So you're looking at the high, the low, the close, the open. And some of them don't do the open. And then what they do is they take that, they multiply it by 2, and then divide it by 2 or something like that. And that's the problem is if they just divided it by 2, it'd probably be even faster. But you're putting a second derivative in there by multiplying it and then dividing it, I think. Is that right? If you multiply it by 2, so then you get a big number, and then you divide it. Yeah, I guess it's about the same. It doesn't really matter. But in the end result is that it's a laggard, and that's why the shorter time frame is the better time frame, because it's a laggard. And that's the that's the process of it all. Oh, I'm sorry. Where are we at here? Where am I at? There it is. Let me figure which mouse that is. There you go. Yeah, there's the silver. Look at that. Look at the way the green line is moving back up towards the time manifolds, right? And look at them. They're both starting to expand. When they start to expand, you start to get the new move. So, Robin was saying he saw strength coming into the silver. And we're both waiting for the weekly to do something positive, like the green line at least get through the time manifold, like right here. Now, when you go back, the last time it gets, let's see if we can do this. Let's do a recycle here. There we go. Let's widen that out. Let's look at the last time the time manifold on a weekly basis made that move. You see here where it dances underneath all that time here. And you can see you get strength out of it at times, like right here. But overall, the minus weekly forces it to make new lows. And then, finally, when the green line gets through the time manifold and gets through the zero line right there, you see? From this line here, we can go like this. So here's your weekly buy finally, and you can see how now the upside really does kick in. So it went from, what, 26 to almost 29, made $3. And then we fell into the sell here. We can do this also like this. And you can see there, it takes a couple weeks, but they smack-a-doodle it. They do it here too. They beat it up there, and it was in a daily sell from here, and you catch, that's the winner chicken dinner there. And then it does it again. I guess in this case here, it doesn't do it very well because look at that, it lags it. In other words, it wasn't able to get into the sell. Is it able to get into the sell there? No, it's not in the sell at all. So it's not until here. And it only makes a few bucks. I think we figured it was like $15, and it misses that 28 down to 26. But you're not long it, and that's a good thing. If it's going to fall apart, at least if you're not long it, that's a good thing. You might not be short it, and you don't catch much of it, but at least you're not like imagine if you had like binaries or short call binaries or short call spreads, from the weekly sell, and you're like 3 month, like the way middle age trades 3 and 4 month out options, right? So you're short there and you're riding it short and you're riding it short. You might have long put spreads or something like that, and then all of a sudden that collapse comes and that works out, So let's see. Well, 4 hourly and 1 hourly didn't work. Now I wouldn't expect it to. That's why I always do the 30-minute. You got to do much more short term, but you can confirm some of the strength. When you're not able to catch the webinar and see my work, but yeah, it's Hinky Ashley is going to be the worst of it all because again it's averaging the 4 points, and so it's a delayed process. So in other words, if it's going down, the Hinky Ashley is going to still be going up from the previous moves. And so you got green when it should be red, whereas my dots is going to pick it up so much faster. In this case here, it doesn't give you any dots. No dot at all, which is curious in its own right. There's no dot there. So yeah, it's too bad that little red line wasn't right there, But that's reality, traders. It's the way it is. At least you weren't long. Just think of that. You weren't long, because the weekly kept you out of kept you out of that danger zone. It's very rare that the weekly will trap you in a danger zone, and when it does, usually it will it'll straighten itself out. Yeah, that's exactly middle age. Waiting for that weekly. Exactly. That's what Robin was saying. He's doing the same thing. He likes to buy the silver. He likes to trade the silver too, and he's waiting for the weekly. And it really does. It's very, very, very rare. The last 40 some odd years, like 40 some odd years, I've only seen the weekly trap you very little, and even then, when it traps you, it makes it back, which is always nice. So yeah, it's definitely, and so you're trying to commingle. That's the problem with the hinky ashy, is that unfortunately it just, since it's such a lag, you have to wait a whole week later, and it's a week behind on a weekly. The daily, it's just like a day or so later. For a 4 hour, it's something like 16 hours later. Or at least, let's put it this way: you can double it, so you're 8 hours behind, or 4 hour. You're 4 hours behind on a hinky ashy on a 4 hour chart. That's why a half hour, you're only going to be an hour behind, which is a lot better. Okay, now what did I want to do? Oh yeah, I want to put the. What do I want to do? I want to put the weeklies in while we're doing the webinar here. This way, at least everybody gets a general idea where we are, since it's a holiday here in the States. So, what was that? Silver is 8 and 2. Oh, I know what I wanted to do. I wanted to open up corn, wheat, and soybeans. Where's that at? Right there. There we go. So let's open that up and take a look. Let's see. Alan says that, Doc, what's the best currency pair? That's a good question. Quant chart trades the best. For all the problems that Euro have, it's a pretty good one. But you know what? Ever since quantitative easing, that question is harder and harder to answer, because all of them do a really good job now. Used to be, it was just the majors. It was like British pound, yen, euro. And euro was like number one. British pound was like number 2 or number 3, something like that. Bounce back and forth with the yen. The Swiss is very solid. It's usually inverse to the euro. Canadian's okay at times, but now with quantitative easing, that's a lot harder to answer, because now the minor pairs trades, they kick in equally, because the central banks are keeping them all in order. So, to be honest, it's really hard to define which one's the best at this point. They're all pretty much, whatever cheaper and easier for you to trade, that's usually the best at this point. Whereas 8-9 years ago, you wanted to just trade like the 5 or 6 majors, and that was it. Now they're all fine, which is pretty good. I mention that here every so often, that the currency markets are probably like the cleanest still out of all the markets. That's because there is some form of price discovery still going on in the currency markets. So I would have to say that the currencies are like the furthest away from the quantitative easing on some level. Not all. Remember, they hold them all, and the U.S. Treasury has a way of measuring what they refer to as manipulation. You would think that manipulation Geiger counter they have would be aimed at the central banks across the planet instead of blaming countries. All right, where was I at? Oh, I want to see where corn is, right? So corn on Friday, closed in a weekly buy. So let's fix that right there. And what else did I think wheat also might have done that? Wheat's still in a sell. And soybeans. Oh, I know what caught my eye. Here is July soybeans, which are getting. I'm going to take them off the board because they're getting ready to expire. But the November contract, I think it closed in a weekly buy. Where's that at? Right there. There we go. Yeah. See that? November closed, the new crop closed in a weekly buy. So I'm gonna put that in there, and so I'm gonna go like this, one, and like that, and we're gonna remove July beans at this point. Now let's go back and look like, say, September and deck. There's deck corn. See, that joined in. I think September corn joined in. Let's see, where's it at? Sep corn. Right there, joined in. See, they're all moving into weekly buys. And let's check out September wheat. Let's see, September wheat. Right there. Yeah, see, Sep wheat is still in the sell, and it was pressing down. We'll see if there's any more, pressure like that. I'm eating peanuts. I'm hungry. Let's see. Let's put 6 in there for wheat. Right there. There's wheat. 6. Let's check out crude oil. Let's see. Middle East says November beans, front month, and September corn. Yeah, I'll go to September corn, because September corn is always a cross between new crop and old crop, because there's new crop in the southern states, and then it's deck corn for the northern states.
Robin R.
Oh, there we go. Let's see what the Robin has to say. Yo, Robin, what's cooking?
You should have the money now.
Oh, okay. I'm on the webinar.
Your system just didn't
Do their thing, yeah.
it showed it charged it, but it didn't charge it.
Yeah, it's all right. But
Okay.
I appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah, no problem at all. Bye bye.
I'm getting calls from all my grandkids and everybody.
Oh yeah, happy birthday! Hey world, it's Robin's birthday today. Give him a happy birthday.
Oh, world?
Yeah, I'm doing my webinar.
Oh.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. See, there you go.
Are you singing on that webinar?
I always sing. I'm the singing trader.
Okay,
All right. Bye bye. So, all right. So yeah, that's what we'll do. Middle Age. We're gonna go to Sep corn. We're gonna go to November wheat, and new crop wheat is being harvested right now across the everything. There you go. Nice, very nice. Yeah, Robin's got a bunch of grandchildren, and he's they're. Well, I guess he spent the weekend at both sons' houses, so one at one day, one the other, that type of thing. For his birthday weekend. Let's see. All right, so we got that straightened out on the grains, and so let's go back and look at crude oil. Right there. And there's crude right there. So that's the August contract. And you can see, what's that? That's the 5th, right? So let's give it a refresh, because I've been really confused about all that pressure. It's going sideways for the last. Oh, look at that! When I refreshed it, it's giving us a green dot, but it pulled the daily down again. They cannot get this daily into a buy. Look at that. Since here it's so you're stuck in that neutral situation. You're in a weekly buy, and it's gone from what is that? It's gone from 72.98 to 76.22 over the last 3 days. But refuses to go into a daily buy, which makes me wonder: are they going to sell the crude oil? Yeah, Robin's in outside of Chicago. He's away from the gunfire. They're always shooting people up over there. These Democrat cities, our socialist cities, are really dangerous. I don't know. Something about, you know what they do? They keep on changing the laws so that criminals can go back out on the street after they shoot somebody. This is really weird. And why don't they just give everybody a gun and let them take care of themselves? That's one of the more stranger ones, that's for sure. So crude oil seems to be fighting not to get into a daily buy, and this green line just refuses to move up. I don't know. One or the other is going to happen. It's going to go into a daily buy with that weekly buy, and it might just, who knows, maybe it'll go get those 80s that everybody's talking about, or the 100s, who knows. All I know is right now it just seems to be really fighting. They must be profit taking. This must be like the, if you're referring to crude oil and the price range, and you were trying to treat it like English soccer or rugby, and it's the in touch versus the out of touch, or inbounds versus the out of bounds, or the scrimmage line, I would say this 75 area is obviously the scrimmage line. That's what our math is trying to tell us. It's definitely the scrimmage line in oil. Yeah, I was surprised to see that go down. Let's take a look at that. I think it showed in the. Yeah, I don't blame you. I thought this. It's exactly the same thing. I thought the same thing. Matter of fact, I was going to say something, but it was Friday, and it was a Friday of a 3-day weekend. But I was tempted to write something on your chart. I was seriously thinking about doing that. Let me go find it. Where is it? Close. Okay. Let's go to here. Where's it at? Right there. I'm going to just close this. And then let's open up the way they closed. Where's it at? Right there. Let's see the way coffee closed. I didn't like the spike that was going on. Yeah, I mean, was it Thursday? It closed in the daily sell, and Friday it did that. And you know what really bothered me is this right here. Let's widen that out for you. The time manifold's being challenged. If this thing starts to do a dip, let's see. The last time we saw it do a dip like that was this right here. And you know, it did a minus, went into a plus, and then broke. And when it did it here, see the time manifold here, it was a sloppy move. It wasn't too bad, and they rallied it one more time. And then they basically sold that rally off. And then as that was March, and it kind of moved down to like the 35 area. You know, so basically that caught my eye on Friday too. I was thinking, oh, I'll talk to Middle Age Monday or Tuesday about that. Oh, my options expire in the middle of August. Let's see. So where are we at now? We're at the beginning of July. I would roll them. You know, just roll them. Or you're long right now, right? So the decay, this thing loses value. The decay is going to be even more vicious. It's not the decay. It's the premium is going to drop hard. Sell something against it. Sell like turn it into a binary and sell like the 50s. You know, do that. That would make sense. You know, do something. Put some hedge against it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Look at the tags. Tags was interesting. Almost got into the weekly buy. Now, for those out there wondering what tags is all about, tags is a very interesting ETF. It's soybeans, corn, and wheat, and the sugar contract. What an interesting combination of the four. Very interesting. I really enjoy that. All right, now let's see. Where do we head from there? If anybody wants to see anything, say it. If not, we'll go back to the currencies again. Let's see what Canadian's doing. Oh no, we looked at cable. Let's just. I think we looked at both cable, and I think it was when was it Alan asked which currency pair is the best. You know, it's cable's a good one, and you can see today the cable is trying to is jumping up into the daily buy, but the weekly's so low. And then we take a look at the euro. It's the same situation. It's trying to jump into the daily buy, but again, the weekly. So I'm kind of thinking it's a dead cat bounce. Canadian, same situation. On Friday they sold it down, but look at it today. It's lifting back up again now that it's in a daily sell though right there, but the weekly is holding on. So chances are it's going to probably find a way to go back up. Let's check out Swiss. You can see the Swiss there. Swiss is feeling the pressure today, but it's pretty much unchanged. And the weekly is not budging. So, and then we've been kind of a little surprised. We understand why the ruble's moving up because the Russian Federation Bank has raised rates. We understand that part. But what's curious out of the action, like these pairs trades that match up to other events, like metals or something like that, is that the curious one is the South African rand is in it finally. Okay, so Friday they pushed it into a sell, and it's moving down again. That's because the metals are moving up, and obviously even in a weekly sell, the dailies are pushing up. So it should put some pressure on the South African rand to go down. All right, now let me fill in. Did I fix crude oil? I don't think I did. So it's like 6 weeks right here. Let's put that in there. So it's 6 weeks, and it's 2 days in a sell, or I think it's 3 days in a sell now. No, wait a minute. It's in a buy. That's what it is. 3 days in a buy, right? Let's just go back to crude real quick. Yeah. No, it's in a sell. How's that in a buy? It's in a sell. It's 3 days in a sell. That's what it is. Actually, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a sell. So it's really tracked, just like the way gold is in a weekly sell and a daily buy. So it's 4 and 4. And then that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to take a look at copper too. That's natural gas. Natural gas is showing life again. Doesn't seem to want to give up. Now there's a copper in the electronic market today. Here it is. Yeah, there it is. It's playing with the daily buy. We don't really trust the. I'm just doing the Fridays more, and we'll see how they play out with the others. When you get these holidays, it's too tough to. They're usually way too thin to trust. I mean that's. Oh, let's escape that. Did I just blow it up or something? No. Okay. Oh, I see. That's what it was. So minimize that. There we are. So yeah, that's the problem. Is that these 3-day holidays have a real effect on the product. So it's really hard to take that daily buy serious until we see it play itself out for a couple days. 3, and then silver's what? Sell 3, and weekly sell 9. Let's go back to silver. What we do? We blow this thing up? I think we blew it up. I have to just close it and start it again. There we are. Let's see, where's it at? There we go. Yep, nope, where is that? Yes, there we go. There we go. We're opening up the multi-charts again.
Connecting.
Connected. How nice. Good robot. Close. those, and then open, and let's put it up on the screen here for you. I want to put those current, was it the currencies up? No, I wanted to look at the metals there for a second, for silver. Here it comes. There we go. And there's this, good, it's, no, it's that's the 10-year. Ah, now I got to replace that again. So September. Where's that? So there it is. Set. At least it retained that. That's half decent. And that. And settings. And where's it at? There it is. Okay. And let's fix that. There we go. This should be straightened out. I just have to rewrite the silver in there again. Let's see, silver, SEP silver. Set. No, escape. There it is. SEP silver. There we go. Make it there, right there, there, there. So yeah, they're all cells. It's something. Yeah, this is what happens when you have quantitative easing, and they what they do is they use dollar-denominated products as a currency. Makes it tough for price discovery, that's for sure. All right, now what was the last one I wanted to check on here? Oh, natural gas. I think natural gas has moved into the weekly, right? It's still in the weekly, so it's 12 weeks now. There we go. And then, oh, the 10-year. Let's see what the 10-year is doing. That's the epicenter. That's literally the epicenter to all this. Is at because of the bond vigilante. So 5 weeks in a buy now, and it's in a daily buy still. So that's 3. See, that's the real epicenter. When you're looking at the 30-year in the U.S. right here, and you're looking at the weekly. I'm sorry, the daily and the weekly. You can see that they're, we're getting supposedly inflation. All right. I mean, the Russian Federation raised their interest rates. A couple other places have raised their interest rates, and here in the States, interest rates are dropping, and we're at the same time going into an inflationary characteristic. They call it, was it transitory? That's the buzzword now for the left. They call it transitory. Meaning that it's not going to last. Unlike how they declare the world according to them. They are a funny bunch. They are a funny bunch. There is they come up with ideas, and so what'll happen is, was it who was saying that Summers had talked about 49? There's what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to let it play itself out, and that's where the problem's going to kick out. Is that when you find the August comes along. In other words, they're going to look at inflation in July, and July will be, they're willing to give up a month or two, but I don't think the markets are willing to put up with August inflation. So in other words, if they're increasing inflation statistics coming in August, it's going to put the pressure on that market. You're going to have that weaker September. I think that's how that's going to play out in the stock market. Now, when it comes to, you would have to assume that pressure could end up in the bond market too. But again, the central banks are holding up the interest rate markets. They control them. Remember, there's 18 trillion sitting in a negative yield. So I would say, yeah, they're doing a pretty good job of controlling the market. I mean, if they can get people to buy their bonds and pay interest at the same time instead of them, the central banks paying interest, yeah, definitely. transitory also means bye-bye middle class. Yeah, that's not a good thing. It's just not a good thing. I hear you. I have to say this administration is some of the worst policies put together in a long time. It makes Obama look somewhat neutral. Alright, so there it is that we've done the futures of the fact check spreadsheet. Now, let's take a look at some of the currencies. Oh, what time is it? Oh, the webinar's over with. Okay. Alright, anybody have any questions before I leave? I'll give you a few, I'll give you a minute to come up with a question. If you don't have any questions, we'll just shut it down and call it a day. And then I'll clean up my work at this point. Okay. All right then. So let's see what we have here. I don't see anything. All right. So everybody have a safe and good trading day. Remember, be careful. Don't try to be a little bit. Be more discriminating today. This market is very thin at the moment, so you don't want to really get that deeply involved with any of these markets. I mean, you really don't. So, just be careful, be smart, and we'll catch you all tomorrow. Normal trading again going into tomorrow. So this is Doc from North America saying arrivederci and ta-ta. And happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all my birthday friends. Ta-ta.